I think I'm going to have to curtail this flight because there is a teeny tiny rain shower.
Hello and welcome to my channel. Hopefully this will be the first video of 2021 and hopefully I'm going to try and get airborne today. I've not really done much on the maintenance side of my machine. There are a few odds and sods which need to be sort of fixed every now and again. It's a two-stroke engine after all. On the last flight that I did to Apottery, I was getting a little problem with the carb. Now I've recently rebuilt the carb. It's my problem, it's nothing to do with the machine. Basically I haven't tightened down the bolt, so I've got a load of gaskets to change and hopefully it's a bit cold today, so I've got the fingerless gloves on. I'll be able to get that fixed and go and do some trial flights. I'll just come and quickly show you what I mean. It was spotted when I landed at Apottery. You might be able to see here there's some residual fuel. It's in the here. I'm going to be changing these two gaskets and tightening that down to make sure that's correct, and then redoing the mixture setting. I say it was very much evident that it was coming from here, and I was just noticing this part of the body was wet. So just a quick bit of tweaking on that. And those that spotted it, I can't remember who it was, but so one person did spot, I've got the 2-blade on. I really want to get the 3-blade on. The reason I put the 2-blade back on, because I was getting these problems and rough running, I wanted to go back to something I knew. So I left this prop on for that flight just to make sure it wasn't anything I'd induced by putting the 3-blade on, keeping it consistent. So anyway, I'll hopefully try and do a bit more of the vlog with the maintenance side and give you that information. But let's get fixing and let's get my machine back up in the air. So doing maintenance and trying to video is not easy, but anyway, let's give this a go. This is the carburetor. This is the block I was on about. This type of carburetor takes its pulse feed from internal. The earlier models took it externally to the carburetor. The carburetor has the metering side on this side and the pump side on this side, and this is the metering side here. This is the block. I've just changed them and you can just see there's a little hole. That hole matches up with that one, and that provides the pulse feed to the carburetor. This is the old gaskets, and you can see they are absolutely wet through, which means they've been leaking. There are some dry bits, but yeah, I'm glad I've changed them. I'll put them back in my I'll put the block anyway back in my spares box. So that's it. They're the bits I've changed. Again, I'm going to be doing some propeller testing today. Hopefully one of the 3 blades will be going on, and I'm just going to go and do a local flight in accordance with the regulations and the rules, just to see how that performs. So let's get this all buttoned up and back together again, and let's get flying.
This is stamp security helmet is done up, harness is done up, and my feet are on the floor. I've got no foot brake. Hand throttle is closed. That throttle is full and free. I've checked that earlier. Master switch going on. It's not as easy to get to as the one in the Quantum, but hey, I can't always hold the bar, but let's see if I can start it while holding the bar. So clear prop. Oh, the difference a carb adjustment makes. And I do have to admit, I have already run it once in the tuning, so it does make a difference. Mark taught me to do the one glove trick to make sure I do T-wave, but today it's cold, so the gloves are going on. Engine is warming up, so controls. I do have to admit one mistake. I called this Tolland because it's the village, and it's a very small village, but actually the farm is called Glebe Farm, and I know all the other pilots I was advised to actually call this Glebe Farm traffic. So my mistake. And because I have a hand throttle, I can check the full power. I've already done 1 gram run with this propeller, and I'm going to probably talk about it in flight, because that's the whole point of this flight today, is to see how this Helix 3-blade performs. And I can't quite get the same RPM at full power as I can with the 2-blade, but that should be part of physics. That should equate to that anyway. Glebe Farm traffic from Golf Foxtrot Whiskey Lima Romeo, backtracking runway 334, departure to the north, Glebe Farm. I have a funny feeling this isn't going to be a very long flight because it's feeling very, very cold. Trim is set wind and weather. I'm happy with visor. I don't have one yet. I will be fitting one in the future. Engine T's and P's are good, and eventualities are straight ahead of us. And the time is 11:30. Right, so bar neutral. Can't see anyone else. Temps are good. Got full power, bar coming forward, accelerating. Climbing away. So there is a little bit of northerly today, and down this gully, again I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up, but it does get a little bit turbulent down low. And now it's actually calmed down. He says, spoke too soon. But we're flying. So one of the main points I wanted to do on this flight, is to compare the performance. Now one thing I picked up on straight away is it's got a slightly raspier sound, and I think that is natural with all three blades. You've got three tips all smashing the air, whereas two you haven't. I mean, ultimately the most efficient propeller is one blade, and I've seen some motor gliders have those. Two blades makes life very simple, but again, this is all part of the experiment that I wanted to do to see if I could get a different type of performance out of a three blade, and which one works better. You know, if it does ultimately end up that the two blade is it, I'll be selling some propellers or keeping in with spares just in case. Well, that's one interesting thing. It is slightly lower, about 250 RPM. I think I'm going to have to curtail this flight because there is a teeny tiny rain shower. Okay, let's head on back. Yep, definitely a rain shower coming in. So, rejoin checks. And throttlers. So, fuel loss on and sufficient. Altimeter, I never left QFE. Airfield's in sight. Green from traffic from Golf Foxtrot Whiskey Lima Romeo, rejoining from the north for runway 33. Runway is, well, the wind is still down the runway, so downwind checks, fuel is on, and I've got sufficient awareness. I can't see any traffic. Wind is light and down the runway. Nose wheel steering is straight. Throttle is closed. Trim is set, and I'm secure. Downwind checks complete. Right, nobody is on final. Glebe Farm traffic, Golf Foxtrot Whiskey Lima Romeo, turning around final, runway 33 to land. Glebe Farm. Right, centre line. Holding a bit of speed. Come on, back on the centre line, Giles. Centre line. Speed, centre line, centre line, speed, looking long, bar in. Not smooth, but it's a little bit lumpy today. Well, that was a bit shorter. The weather changed quite quickly there, so I made the call to come back. So yeah, I think I'm going to need to do a lot more testing with these propellers. This one is slightly noisier than the 2-prop. It doesn't quite give the full RPM, but that's probably because it's 3 blades. and the fuel consumption was lower. The RPM in cruise was ever so slightly lower. I'd say just about 100 RPM. Again, for a 20-minute flight, I don't think I've got enough data, but I'm going to leave it on and do another longer flight, get an hour, and find out what's going on with it. Still a bit rich in the mid-range, so I need to adjust that. But yeah, I've flown first flight of 2021. So thank you for joining me on this flight. I'm sure there'll be more flights that I can do, just probably not as far as I want with the restrictions we've got. But we'll leave this here, and until next time, everybody, fly safe.